Part two. Okay, so I wake up and so it was I was not expecting to actually lose consciousness inside that chamber. So that was definitely unnerving because I was already being like pretty cooperative. I didn't trust these people yet, but I was just trying to make it through the situation. But waking up in a strange place, that's scary period, but definitely in real world. There's so much crazy shit that could be happening. But I was still in the chamber and the process was done. So Ben tells me that I was out for the length of time of one feature film, which I kind of interpreted to be roughly about 2 hours. So sorry, I'm looking at notes. So while I was out, Ben did some research on me, and now he's more familiar with who Chaos actually is, and he's impressed with like the hero work and everything I did, and actually seemed to think I was a bit of a big deal and everything. So I was, oh, well, like I appreciate that and everything. So he was like, it was funny. He was like telling me about the cat, like about Kaioshin and everything, and it was just funny because it was almost like somebody telling, like I don't know, like the Ninja Turtles or something. Hey, I think the Shredder person's a bad guy, and they're like, yeah, I know, but he was basically telling me like, it's like, hey man, what's your relationship with Kaioshin? It's like, yeah, we're on the outs right now, and he's definitely like dangerous and an enemy and all that kind of stuff. He's like, he's dangerous and powerful. I know Ben. Like, believe me, I felt said power upside my head a couple of times. I know he's pretty unstoppable. It's like you should probably avoid fighting him. Ben, again, thank you, but I'm on that. I'm on top of it. Good luck though. So yeah, that was basically it. There, we go from the hall or from that chamber area back out into the main hall, and there's like this like big uproar happening where all of these people are calling for like going to war. It's like one guy bursts into the room like, I say we all go to war, and then people just like they second and third it and starting to get all riled up. There's one guy in there who has this dark power about him, kind of off in the cut that my senses were drawn to him. I was definitely paying attention to boy because like I still don't necessarily trust these guys. I'm warming up the Ben. The cop Winchester was gone, and I thought found it interesting that because they seem to be like operating off the grid, but I guess like Winchester is a cool cop they deal with, or maybe he's secretly working with them or something like that. Who knows? So yeah, a bunch of these people are ready to go to war, and me and Ben talk about me going back to New Brooklyn. So because I've been out for hours, I checked, like my navigator and everything. I've lost all my time, so I got to try to figure out a way to get back to New Brooklyn, where I don't have any rights or access to be in any of these places. I already get stopped a lot with access, so I'm definitely going to get stopped a bunch if I don't have access on my navigator. So he gives me options to get home. 3 options. One of them is an instant I can get, or not home to New Brooklyn. I can get there instantaneously, but that's untested. Jerk off motion. I could, not that I don't trust him. I just don't trust like what might come of that. There's one that's moderately fast but moderately dangerous, and then there's one that's a relatively safe route, but it's going to take multiple days. And I said, like, I don't have a time thing hanging over my head. There's no ticking clock, and people probably expecting me back in a couple of days anyway if I was going to be spending the night with Serena Temple. So I was like, I'll just take the couple of days route, the safe route. So I decided to go that route. Excuse me. He takes me to the area. I meet this dude Sigmund, who I think was coming in there to, with porn to masturbate into this room, which was really weird. But then he walks, then like he realizes we're in here, and him and Ben have a bit of back and forth, and he calls Ben Franklin. And then it kind of hits me. So wait a second, Ben, are you somehow connected to Benjamin Franklin? And it turns out he like is Benjamin Franklin or something from some other timeline. So that's cool. We have a nice exchange based off of that and everything. And I was like, well, I guess we kind of both protected, the Philadelphia area and in that country. We both did it. I was like, well, sorry, I failed you. He said, I didn't fail him. It was a good send off. And what I was flying in was this like old timey Wright Brothers type plane that was going to make me undetectable as I flew. And I headed off for my trip back.